Congratulations on making it to your first Arabic lesson. Now if you're new here, I go by Arabic Blossom and I'll be teaching you Arabic from the very beginning until you reach proficiency. Now please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future lessons. Now let's get started. There are 28 letters in the Arabic alphabet. Now before we start, you need to learn that the Arabic language is written from the right to the left. I'm going to draw an arrow, and I encourage you to draw an arrow on your paper so you can remember to start from the right side and follow the arrow to the left side, as opposed to English that starts from the left side and goes to the right. We're going to start with the first letter. Our first letter is Alif. Alif. This is how we write the letter Alif. This right here looks like a backwards 2 in English. Alif. Alif. The letter Alif makes the sound ah. Ah. Now let me give you a hint. The sound of the letter can be found in the first part of the name. So if it's called Alif, starts with the ah, it makes the sound ah. The letter Alif is similar to the letter A in English. A, Alif, A, apple. The next 3 letters, I like to think of them as 3 triplets. The first one is ba, ba. We go down, across, and back up. And remember, we're starting on the right side and we're going to the left side. This letter is called ba, ba. It makes a sound b, b, ba. Ba has 2 more sisters that look exactly the same. The only difference is the dots. This letter is called da, da. Da has 2 dots on top. It makes a sound da, da. Makes a sound da, da. Now, to give you a hint or a way to differentiate between the letter ba and the letter da, since the only difference is the dots. How many dots does the letter da have on top? 2. Now, what does the number 2 start with when you spell it out? It starts with a T, with a T sound. 2, da, 2, da. The letter da has 2 dots on top. The letter ba has 1 dot on the bottom. Ba, 1 dot on the bottom. Da, 2 dots on top. Now the third sister is called tha. Again, I'm going to draw it the same. The only difference is going to be the dots. Tha. Tha. Tha, tha. It makes a sound tha, tha. You're going to stick your tongue out and you're going to put your teeth in the middle. Tha, tha. Now let me give you another hint. How many dots does the letter tha have on top? 3. And if we write that down in English, 3. 3. We write that out in English. Th, 3, tha, 3. Again, these triplets are called ba, ta, tha. They look exactly the same. The only difference is the dots. Ba has a dot on the bottom, ba. Ta has 2 dots on top, ta. Tha has 3 dots on top, tha. Ba, ta, tha. B, t, th. Now the next set of letters, or as I like to say, the next set of triplets are going to be the letter Jeem. Jeem. And this is how we write the letter Jeem. So this one looks a little bit strange, doesn't it? So what you're going to do is basically you're going to start right here. Then you're going to go up, you're going to stop, kind of like you're drawing like a triangle, and then you stop, and then you bring it back down, kind of like you're drawing a circle, but you stop in the middle without completing the circle, and then you put a dot inside. This letter is called Jeem. Jeem. It makes a sound J, J, Jeem. And this is similar to your letter J in English. Jeem, J, the dot's inside. Jeem has two more sisters. The next letter is going to be Ha. Ha. Now this letter may sound a bit unfamiliar to you at first because this letter does not exist in the English alphabet. The sound is Ha. Ha. It's coming from your throat. Think about it as when you're trying to clear your throat and you do ahem, for example. Try that out. Ahem, ahem, ha, ha. It's the same sound you make when you're clearing your throat. It's called ha. And now because we don't have a letter in English that represents the sound ha, we're going to use an H because that's the closest. But remember, you make the sound when you're coughing. Now the letter ha doesn't have any dots. We write it the exact same way. We write the letter Jeem, but we don't put any dots. Now, Jeem makes a sound J, and it's similar to the letter J in English, where the sound J. Ha makes a sound Ha, similar to when you're like clearing your throat, when you're coughing. Jeem, Ha, they have one more sister. And we're gonna put a dot on top this time. This sister is called Ha. 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 Again, this sound doesn't exist in the English language. Ha. It makes the sound ha, ha. Now you may be wondering, how do I pronounce that? It's not ka, it's not ha, it's ha. Ha. To make it more easy on you, this sound is similar to the sound we make when we're snoring. When you're snoring, how do you snore? You do. I know it's silly, but that's the closest sound to the letter ha, snoring. Ha, snoring. Ha, ha, ha. So think of it as the sound you make when you're snoring. And if you think you don't snore, well, ask your partner or your sister or your mother, and I'm sure they will tell you otherwise. All right, well, these are the three triplets. Jeem, ha, ha. Jeem makes a sound ja, ha makes a sound ha, ha makes a sound ha. Ja, ha, ha are the sounds ja, ha, ha. Now the next set of letters are twins because there's only two of them. The first letter is Dal. 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 The letter Dal makes a sound da. Dal. Da. Dal. And this letter is similar to the sound that the letter D in English makes. Dal. Da. Dal. It's very simple to draw. You just go down and then you bring it back. Now the letter Dal has a sister or a brother, whichever you prefer. We're going to draw it the exact same way. Now remember, when a letter has a brother or sister or a twin, the only difference is going to be the dot, the number of dots and the location of the dots. But the letter itself will remain the same. So Dal has a sister. We're going to draw it the exact same way. The only difference is it's going to have a dot on top. This letter is called Dhal. 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 Stick out your tongue and put your teeth on your tongue. Dhal. Dhal makes a sound the. Now let me give you a hint. The sound that the letter Dal makes is the same TH or the sound that's found in the common English words the or they. The, they, then. So the letter dal makes a sound da, just like your English letter D. And the letter dal makes a sound the. The same TH sound that's found in the common English words the, they. So that's kind of a trick to help you remember that the letter dal makes a sound the. Now the next set of twins, or the next set of letters, and I say twins because these letters are also only two letters that are the same. One has a dot and one doesn't. Ra. This letter right here is the letter Ra. And the way I drew it is pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of like a banana or half a circle. The letter Ra makes a sound ra. Can you roll your R? Ra. For those of you who know Spanish, you already know how to pronounce this sound. Ra. Roll that R. Ra. Not ra. Ra. You're going to bring your tongue up. Ra. And you're going to move it. Ra. Rolling R sound. So the letter ra makes the rolling R sound, ra, or the Spanish sound ra. Now let's move on to her sister or her brother. We're going to draw it the same exact way, but this time we're going to put a dot on top. Now remember, when we're dealing with a set of twins or triplets, usually one letter is going to have a dot, one letter is not going to have a dot, or one letter will have one dot and then one letter will have 2 or 3 dots. So we're going to draw it the exact same way, but we're going to put a dot on the top. This letter is called zay. It makes a sound za. Zay. And this letter is similar to the sound of the letter Z in English. Zay. Ra. Zay. Makes a sound r. Z. R. Z. Zay. Ra. Now for the next set of twins, we have the letter Sheen. Did you see how I drew that? We do 1, 2, and then a big one. This letter is called Sheen, and it makes a sound sa. And this letter makes the same sound as the letter S in English. Now, for Sheen's brother or sister, we're going to draw the exact same shape. The only difference is this time we're going to put 3 dots on top. This letter right here is called Sheen. The letter Sheen makes a sound sha, which is similar to the SH sound in English, like the word she, sheen, sh, she, seen, sa, sheen, sha. Now for the next twins, we have the letter sod. And this is how we write it. We're going to go up, bring it back, and then draw a smiley face, but without the eyes. This letter is called sod. The letter sod makes a sound sa. Sod, sa. Now, let me teach you how to pronounce the sound sa. So, it is similar to the sound sa. But pay attention to the way that I move my mouth when I pronounce these sounds. When I'm pronouncing the sound sa, like the letter seen that we learned earlier, I'm opening my mouth. I'm smiling. Seen. You can see my teeth. Seen. Makes a sound sa. sa. Now, when I'm pronouncing the sound sa in the letter sod, what am I doing to my mouth? Sa, sa. You can't see my teeth. My mouth isn't opening. I'm not smiling. I'm dropping it. Sa, 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 sa. I think you get it now. Give it a try. A little hint. When we're pronouncing the letter sa, we are dropping our mouth. Sa. So we're saying sa, but we're dropping our mouth. Sa. We're not showing our teeth. The same goes for her sister or her brother. The letter dod. Dod. We're going to draw it the exact same way. The only difference is the dot on top is called dod. Dod. The letter dod makes the sound da. Da. Not da. Like the letter dal or the letter D in English. Not da. We're not showing our teeth. We're not smiling. Da.
Da.
Da. Kind of like we're angry. Da. And we're dropping our mouth. Da. Again, I'm going to draw you a little hint. I'm not that good at drawing, but I am good at teaching. Da. And think of it as in angry. Da. Sod makes a sound sa. Dod makes a sound da. The next set of twins are the letter ta. 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 I'm putting my tongue to the roof of my mouth and I'm dropping my mouth. Ta. This is how we write the letter ta. We're going to do a stick and then we're going to come back. This letter is ta. Not that, like the letter ta that we learned earlier, but ta. Ta. Again, the difference between ta and the letter ta is that we're opening our mouth, we're smiling, we're showing our teeth. And then in this letter, in ta, which makes a sound ta, we're dropping our mouth and we're not showing our teeth. So you can remember. Ta. Again, you're angry. It's like an angry T sound. Ta. Now the letter ta has a sister or a brother called va. 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 You're going to stick out your tongue and you're going to put your teeth on your tongue. Va. Again, this is not the sound that we learned in the letter dal. This is the letter va. It makes a sound va. Va. Again, what's the difference between the sound that from the letter dal and va from the letter va? We're angry. Think of it as an angry TH sound. We're not showing our teeth, we're dropping our mouth. We're saying it angrily. Va. Va. For our next set of twins, we have the letter Ain. 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 Now, this is a sound that a lot of non-Arabic speaking people have a little bit of trouble with because it's not Ain, it's Ain. Ain. This sound is coming from the bottom of your throat. Ain. Whereas the sound a is coming from the top of your throat. So this sound is much deeper. Ain. 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 The letter Ain is written like this. We start with a small one and then a big one. It looks like a backwards 3 in English. However, when you're doing a 3, these are the same size, but in Ain, the top part is significantly smaller than the bottom part. This letter is called Ain. 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 Remember, it does not make the sound ah, it makes the sound ah, 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 Ain. Now Ain has a sister. We're going to draw it the exact same way. The only difference is we're going to put a dot on top. This letter is called Ghain. 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 It makes a sound gha. This is not the sound kha from the letter kha that we learned about earlier. This is gha, not kha like the snoring sound. This is gha. Have you ever heard a baby babbling and they're saying agha, ogha? That's the sound. Babies naturally speak Arabic, don't they? Ain, ghain, ah, gha, ah, gha, ah, gha. Now for the next set of twins, we have the letter fa. We're gonna draw a line, go back, and then come back up. Put a dot on top. Fa. Fa makes the sound fa. Now this letter is pretty simple. It makes the sound fa, which is the same as the letter F in English. Now fa has a sister. We're gonna draw her the exact same way. But this time we're going to put 2 dots. This letter is called Qaf. It's kind of like I'm saying the word cough in English. Qaf. Qaf makes a sound ka. Now for the remaining letters, they're not sets of twins or triplets. Now they're going to be single letters. Our next letter is going to be Kaf. The letter Kaf makes a sound ka. Calf. Similar to the letter K in English. Calf. Our next letter is going to be Lamb. It looks like a J in English. Lamb. Lamb makes the sound la. Kind of like your L in English, except we're not doing L, we're doing la. We're touching the tip of our tongue to the roof of our mouth. La. Lamb. The next letter is Meme. We're going to draw a circle, and then a line, and then a line. Meme. The letter meme makes the sound ma. This is similar to your M in English. Meme. Ma. Our next letter is Noon. Kind of like you're drawing a smiley face, but instead of putting 2 dots for the 2 eyes, we're going to put 1 dot in the middle. Kind of like Mike from Monsters, Inc. Noon makes a sound na. This is the same as your N letter, N sound in English. Noon. Our next letter is very simple to draw. It's just a circle, and it's called ha. And this time, the letter ha makes a sound ha, which is the same sound as your letter H in English. This sound is ha. Whereas the letter ha that we learned in the beginning of the alphabet made the sound ha. This one is ha. It's the softer version of ha. It's your H in English, ha. The next letter is wow. You're going to draw a line, come back up, and bring it back down. Wow. Wow. That makes a sound W. And this is your W sound in English. Wow. W. Wow. And this brings us to our final letter in the Arabic alphabet, the letter Ya. Ya. The letter Ya makes the sound Ya, 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 which is similar to the sound or the letter Y in the English alphabet. Ya. Now, if you remember that I said some of the letters and the sounds they make sound similar to other letters, however, there's a slight difference in the way we pronounce it and the facial expressions we make when we're pronouncing that letter. So I drew a table here to make it more easy on you. The first letter is the letter Ta. Ta makes a sound Ta. We're opening our mouth, we're happy, we're smiling, Ta. However, for the letter Ta, we're dropping our mouth, Ta. 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 They sound similar. One is happy, one is angry. The next letter is Dal, which makes a sound Da. Da. We're happy. And Dad. Dad. Da. 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 The next letter is Dhal. Dha. Dhal. Da. And then Va. Va. Dha. Va. Dha. Va. Sheen. Sad. Sa. 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 Ta. 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 Da. 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 Dha. Va. Dha. Va. Sa. 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 Ka. 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 Please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future lessons.